You are looking at the Wolves' Den in Michigan City. Let the whittling begin. We start the day with 64 teams alive in the state tournament. By the time it ends, only 16 will survive a Final Four in each class. It's Penn and Chesterton in a regional semifinal in Class 4A on TV 46. And how you doing, everybody? Alongside my Hall of Fame partner, Bo Hunt, it's Chuck Freeby. Bob Nagel on assignment with Notre Dame women's basketball. He'll be back with us for the semi-state. Bo, the Penn Kingsmen came in with high expectations this season, and they've lived up to them. They're 22-3, and they're in their first regional since 2014. What makes them so good?
Well, I think they have a combination of skill players on the outside and on the inside. They're really a complete team. They play together. They feed off of each other, and I think that's one of the biggest things with this Penn team is they're a team. They play together. They play within themselves, and Coach Al Rhodes has got them going well right now.
Not a lot of people expected Chesterton to be at this level of the tournament. The Trojans upset Valparaiso 35-30 in the Portage sectional final last Saturday night. But make no mistake about it, the Trojans at 19-6 are a good basketball team, and they do it with defense and rebounding.
Oh, they definitely do, and I think that's one of the biggest things. Jake Waddle, one of their key guys, he does it. He's their fantastic star. They got a bunch of athletes, a bunch of guys that just come together. They come out, they just play basketball. They're not quite basketball players, but when you get great athletes on a basketball floor, they can expand that defense, and that's what they rely on, defense. And when you got a team that's full of athletes, if you can play defense and shut people down and don't let them score, you're going to win a lot of ball games.
It's a big gym. It's an atmosphere these kids have never played in before. How much does this weigh on a player as he comes in here today?
Well, when you come in here today, you got to put everything off to the side, the fans, the crowd, the emotions that are involved in this game, how big of a game it is. I was fortunate actually to play against Al Rhodes in a regional as well, and the atmosphere in there was just so electric. But once you get in and once you start playing a game, you get blinders on. You got to lose that and just go out there and play the game.
Are you saying the rims are still 10 feet? The court's the same size as the one back at Hickory? Sure sounds that way, but that's the great atmosphere we have for you today. We'll get you ready for this one with the Jordan Automotive Keys to Win next on the 46 Game of the Week.
This is the WHME TV 46 High School Game of the Week, brought to you by Thor Industries, Teachers Credit Union, Bill's Heating, Jordan Automotive Group, IU South Bend, Electrical Workers Local 153, Crown Trophy, Imagineering Finishing Technologies, and the IHSAA.
This edition of the TV 46 High School Basketball Game of the Week is being brought to you by the Jordan Auto Group. It's simple, easy, and stress-free. Welcome back to the Wolves' Den in Michigan City as Penn at 22-3 gets ready to take on 19-6 Chesterton. Time now to look at our keys to win, brought to you by the aforementioned Jordan Auto Group. And for the Penn Kingsmen, while they have four seniors who start, two of them really stand out from the crowd. Drew Lutz, their point guard, is one of the best in the state of Indiana, according to his coach, Al Rhodes, and the numbers would back it up. Lutz is currently third in the state in both total assists and assists per game, while also scoring 18.8 points a game. He's headed to Bethel College next year. He gets help down low from Noah Applegate, the all-time leading scorer at Penn High School with 1,657 career points. He's averaging 20 points a game this season and also 8 rebounds a game. The keys to win for Al Rhodes and the Kingsmen.
Well, the keys to win today for the Kingsmen in this regional semifinal, they need to rebound that basketball. They need to get a body on somebody, can't give second chance points. Full effort on half-court defense. They can't be looking to get to that offense. They need to play defense first in that half-court and be effective inside and out. They need to not rely just on the three-pointer. They have to work the ball inside, dribble, penetrate, and kick that ball out for some three-point shots as well. Al Rhodes in his 38th season and 11th at Penn.
Well, it's very important that they don't let the game get too big and they come and play basketball like they're capable of. You know, whether it's Chesterton or somebody else, we try to take care of ourselves. And then if we take care of ourselves, things are going to be okay.
You are looking at the big man for the Chesterton Trojans. His name is Jake Wadding. He's a 6'4 junior. He's averaging 17.5 and 8.5 rebounds a game. He's one of the few players in Chesterton history who has actually gone over 1,000 points for his career, and Jake is an all-Duneland Conference selection. And he'll get help on the outside from Jack Eaton, who is their best three-point percentage guy on the team with 33s and 78 attempts. The 6'1 senior was Mr. Soccer in the state of Indiana, and that's one of the things his coach likes about him. He's a winner. He guided Chesterton to a state championship in soccer. He'd like to guide them another level higher in the basketball tournament. The keys to win for Mark Urban and the Trojans.
The keys to win today for the Trojans of Chesterton. They need to slow it down. In their 3 sectional games, they allowed less than 40 points in all 3, and they'd love to do that today against the Kingsmen. One and done. They have to limit Penn to one and done scenarios. They can't give them second chance points and protect the basketball. They cannot afford turnovers in a low scoring, close contest. You have to protect the basketball. Mark Urban in his 3rd season at the helm at Chesterton.
Well, I think it speaks to the type of kids we have. You know, we have a lot of kids that have won in other sports. You know, Jack Eaton's won a state championship in soccer, and you know, Tyler Nelson, Colton Cardias made the semi-state in baseball. So we got some guys that know how to win. You know, then we got a group of guys that really don't care who gets the credit. They're going to fight together, and you know, they obviously found a way. And I know a lot of people expect us to be here, but you know, we as a team, we did.
Lots of times in sports we say the winner lives for another day. In this case, they live for a few more hours before they face the winner of Northridge and Munster tonight. It's Penn and Chesterton. Those have been our Jordan Automotive keys to win on the 46 Game of the Week. And this edition of the TV 46 High School Basketball Game of the Week is being brought to you by Thor Industries. It's the world's largest RV manufacturer. Not quite the world's largest gym, but one of the top 10 in Indiana high school. They'll put 7,200 in here when the place is full. Not even close to full today. But Penn and Chesterton getting ready. The starting lineups. Here's Bo Hunt.
Well, welcome to the Wolf's Den here. What a great place to be here in Michigan City. And I believe they're going to go with the visiting team on the scoreboard, the Penn Kingsmen. See the starting lineup there. Carter Hickey, number 10 at the guard. Drew Lutz, you'll see him at halftime as our student athlete. Number 21, that's Bo Ludwig. Number 30, Noah Applegate, the big man inside. And number 33, Keegan Hoskins for your starting lineup for your Penn Kingsmen, coached by Al Rhodes in his 38th season, 11th at Penn High School.
So the Kingsmen being introduced to the crowd here. They're finally getting to the starters. They introduce everybody on the team, which should be that way at a regional. You should get mentioned if you're on a varsity roster, and so that happens. And now the starters being introduced. This is a Penn team, 22-3 on the year. They average a little over 73 points per game. Defensively, they only give up about 55 points a game. Now, when they're on, they shoot it pretty well from three-point range, 36%. But, Bo, you and I talked before the game. In their 3 losses, they have not been on from three-point range.
No, they haven't. They've shot less than 20%, actually less than 19% from three-point range when they have lost their 3 games. So that's going to be a key factor today, whether or not they can hit those three-pointers and get that percentage up. But I think it relies on getting inside and getting those points inside and not relying on that 3 early.
The maroon, gold, and white of Chesterton fans have come to their feet here at the Wolves' Den as their team is being introduced. Why don't you go through the Trojans starting lineup?
Well, the starting lineup tonight for the Chesterton Trojans, they'll do the non-starters, but here are your starters. Number 2 at guard, Travis Grayson. Number 10, Colton Cardenas. Number 20, Jack Eaton, one of our players to watch. Number 21, Nick Mullen, and number 3, Jake Wadding. Jake averaging almost 18 points a game. He's going to be one of the key players. Only a junior. We've seen a lot of great juniors around the area this year, and he's one of them as well. They are coached by Mark Urban, longtime girls coach, moving over to the boys. This is his 3rd season as a coach for the Chesterton Trojan boys basketball team.
Chesterton is playing in its first regional since 1987. They went 19-6 on the year. Offensively, rather middle of the road. They average around 57 points a game. Defensively for the season, they limit opponents to 48 points a game, but nobody ever got close to that in the sectional. And they held a Valparaiso team that was ranked in the top 10 at times this year to 25% shooting in the sectional final.
Well, one of the big things I looked at was that Valpo game. they not only lost to them pretty handily just a week and a half before that, but they played great in that game. They came together. A fact, before that Valpo game, the last time they played Valpo in the playoffs, 11 times. They've lost 11 times straight. That was their first win against Valpo. What a big victory. And they would love to continue that here in the regional semifinal against the Penn Kingsmen. In order to do that, you got to shut down those three-point shots of the Kingsmen. You got to play great defense.
First meeting between these two teams. Penn has won 16 sectionals. It's first since 2014, and we told you about Chesterton. The officials today is assigned by the IHSAA. Gary Hamilton working with Gary Chambers and Travis Horn. Chesterton in the white, Penn in the black. It's time to jump it up in the regional semifinal on 46. The Trojans control the tip. The champions of the Portage sectional did not allow a sectional opponent to score more than 40. Outside, that's Colton Cardenas. Now the freshman Travis Grayson. Everybody getting a touch in the opening possession. They'll be deliberate, but they won't try to stall. Wadding works one-on-one over Applegate, miss, and the rebound to Keegan Hoskins. That's his role on this team, be the cleanup man. Drew Lutz the other way.
Wadding with the close range shot miss. Those are shots that have to go down for Chesterton in order to play a slow-tempoed game and keep the scoring down.
Lutz kicks it outside. Carter Hickey's three goes awry, and the rebound to Wadding. And the Trojans show a desire to run just briefly. Grayson threw it outside. They go down low to Wadding. Hoskins was there to stop him. And the rebound, Wadding gets it back. And Mark Urban says, let's reset. Grayson, the freshman, slicing in over Lutz for two. Travis Grayson wasn't going to be a starter much this year, but then Tyler Nelson hurt his ankle. Grayson got into the lineup, and they can't get him out.
Talking to a few people before the game, Grayson takes 300 shots after every practice, sticks around, and wants to work on his shooting so bad.
He's a terrific three-sport athlete already at Chesterton. Take a look at Al Rhodes, his 38th season as a head coach, 617 wins, but he's only been to one regional since the year 2000. That was back in 2014. Down low to Hoskins. He shoots or tries to over Mullen, and Nick Mullen will have none of it. Now Applegate drives past Mullen, and the ball knocked out of bounds. It'll go to Chesterton. And we're seeing in the first minute 42 the kind of defense the Trojans are known for.
Yeah, definitely. They're all over the place, really extending that defense out. They got a lot of length, and they're really getting to the spots where Penn thinks they're not going to be very quickly.
Penn going to a 2-3 zone. It's Jack Eaton. Now Grayson, the point guard. Penn with a lot of length, especially around the perimeter of that zone. But Eaton is free for three. Short on the shot. Look at Wadding read the rebound, but couldn't get the layup to go. He's missed three bunnies already.
Yeah, 3 point-blank range shots that he's not able to knock down, but they lead 2-0 at this point.
Lutz gets mugged as he goes inside and draws the contact from Cardenas, his first. You get another look on the 46 Sports replay. This is an area where Drew Lutz has really improved, Bo, is in his ability to penetrate and draw and take contact.
Well, and that's one of the things Penn's going to have to do today, especially with the way Chesterton plays defense. They're going to have to do dribble drives and really take that offense to the defense, get your body into somebody and draw some fouls and get to the line, because Penn's a pretty decent free throw shooting team.
Lutz is an 82% foul shooter on the year. As you take a look at Mark Urban, a Lake Central grad. Then he went to Indiana State, where he's a student manager under Royce Waltman, the former IU assistant.
His dad, a longtime coach at Highland.
2 points for Lutz. We're tied at 2, early first. Chesterton, a team that has had a rich athletic tradition. It just hasn't been in boys basketball. 3 on the way by Cardenas is short. Applegate with the rebound. Take a look at the programs last year as Hoskins tried to do an alley-oop and hit the side of the backboard, and now he's slow to get up down among the Chesterton cheerleaders. Mullen for 3. Big fella, where's that been?
6'9" from downtown.
5-2 Chesterton. The ill-advised alley-oop attempt at the other end opens up an opportunity for the Trojans. Lutz trying to probe that defense. Applegate will try to answer with a three and does. What's with all the big men?
6'6", 6'9". Hey, go out and shoot threes. Hey, that's the new age of basketball nowadays.
But you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
This is what guys that size are being asked to do at the next level, isn't it?
Yeah, it is by far. I mean, if you're 6'6" to 6'7", you can't shoot a three-pointer. There's no reason to go to the next level because you're not going to be able to play inside because most of the guys are 6'8", 6'9" inside, 7 foot.
Eaton's too short. He can't hit that shot. Lutz is too short. He can't hit that shot. Here comes Wadding the other way. Cardenas traveled on the ball fake. Boy, he had Ludwig going all the way to Laporte.
That was a great fake there. And really surprising a little bit on Chesterton's part. They've shot quite a bit of threes already here in the first quarter. Surprising they want to slow it down a little bit, and they're settling for that outside shot. Maybe that's Penn's giving it to them.
Tyler Nelson, number 11, checks in for Chesterton. The depth of the Trojans a concern for Al Rhodes. Applegate working down low, a blocking foul called underneath. That's going to go on Nelson, who just checked in.
Yeah, good job. Good job by Applegate really coming in there and really taking it to him. Interested in improving all areas of your fitness program or sport? Hey, join the Strength and Conditioning Center in Mishawaka at the Beacon Sports Performance. They offer youth, high school, adult performance training. Visit beaconhealthandfitness.org today.
Noah Applegate is a 77% free throw shooter. He has 4 points today. He now has 1,661 in his career, which ranks him 8th in St. Joe County history. If you follow us at 46 Sports, we had a very nice trivia question up there yesterday. It's amazing the 7 players who rank ahead of Applegate come from 7 different schools.
That is surprising to hear that. A lot of times you'll get a school with a lot of kids that program, you know, Marion in the recent years, they've had back-to-back guys coming through there.
Now that stat may not last long with the way Jaden Ivey scores the basketball, but we shall see. 7-5 Penn, midway through the first. Tyler Nelson outside to Travis Grayson. Jack Eaton on the dribble.
Penn going to a zone, switching from man.
Eaton found Wadding underneath, and he got the bucket. Jake Wadding finally gets one to drop. The 6'4 junior averages 18 a game. That's his first deuce. We're tied at 7.
He was able to penetrate the backside of that zone and really get inside. And what a great look for him inside.
Good extra pass on
yeah,
that
it was.
too. Lutz taking his time as Penn sets up the play. Applegate trying to get position down low. They've got him battling down there with Eaton. And Applegate found that to be a mismatch. 7 points for Noah Applegate, who's headed to Hillsdale next year.
Nick Mullen not in the game, the 6'9 guy for Chesterton, so they really want to pound that inside. You can see that already here with him not in the game.
Nearly a turnover. Nelson with a very athletic play to save it. Looked like a shortstop going in the hole because he's a baseball player going to Indiana State next year. Drew Vanderwood in the game now. Number 40 sets the screen for Nelson. Grayson slices inside, but the floater is short. Lutz gets the loose ball. Kingsman, first time they brought the ball down with the lead today. And then Lutz lost it inside, and we got a charging foul, I think, called on Lutz.
Yeah, it was kind of weird because he was actually passing the ball off. I don't know if we have a good replay of that or not, but that was it's kind of a weird call on that one.
I'll take another look here on the 46 Sports replay, and you make the call. Good position held by Vanderwood down low. And you can't penalize Vanderwood for being a bigger guy than Lutz, standing in there and taking the contact.
Yep, and he might have, fell back and not actually fell back, but it did a great job of selling it, that's for sure.
UCLA pressed that time by Penn, and it pays off. Hickey got the steal, but then had it knocked away. When I say UCLA, it's the 1-2-1-1 that John Wooden used so often when he was there at UCLA. And Al Rhodes, much like Doug Ogle, his former assistant at Warsaw, now the head coach, big fan of John Wooden. Applegate had the hot hand early, but could not hit that one, and Wadding gets a rebound.
Applegate 7 of the 9 points so far for Penn.
Grayson, good head and shoulder fake, but Applegate was able to alter the shot. Ludwig came away with the rebound. We don't keep a stat of altered shots, but there have been a lot of them in the early going.
There sure have. I mean, with the defense that both teams are playing, there's definitely been shots that have been altered, and they look like they're just bad shots, but really they're just getting blocked and being altered by the height of these guys.
And Wadding just gave Hoskins fits down low. Then Wadding comes the other way, missed on the Euro step. Penn gets the ball back with 54 seconds left, and Chesterton will go to its bench again.
For a game that's 7-9, 53 seconds, this is really a high-paced game. They're really going back and forth. They just can't knock down shots.
Well, and this is what everybody told me about Chesterton coming in was they don't stall. They're not trying to slow the game down. The shooting, when they play, they don't shoot it very well, but they make sure you don't shoot it well either.
Yeah.
So it's been a textbook Trojan game so far. Alex Schmidt, 33, Jake Warren, 34 into the game now for the Trojans. And this revolving door that Chesterton uses, Al Rhodes mentioned right before the game, it's a concern. Al goes pretty much with an iron 5, maybe 6. Chesterton will go 9 or 10 deep.
Yeah, they definitely will get guys subbed in and out and really get that momentum going and be able to step up the pace for sure.
Lutz and the Kingsmen hold for the last shot. Hickey down low to Applegate. Kicks it outside. Ludwig will take the 3, but can't make it. Applegate's tip fails, and the first quarter comes to an end. It was a first quarter that didn't feature a lot of offense, but when it featured offense, it featured big men hitting threes. Nick Mullen outside the arc for Chesterton. Noah Applegate for Penn. The Kingsmen lead at 9-7 after 1 on 46. This edition of the TV 46 High School Basketball Game of the Week is being brought to you by IU South Bend, fulfilling the promise. Normally, I'd be going courtside for a Bills Heating sideline report. I have to go about 3 inches to my right. What did you see in that first quarter?
Well, the game's on pace to be a under 40 points scored for both teams. It's something that Chesterton relies on. Chesterton likes to see the games around 40 points. Penn, they've only scored under 60 twice all year. So, I expect the pace to pick up maybe just a little bit. Shooting, pick up just a little bit. I don't think shooting was that good in the first quarter between two teams.
You're right. Chesterton shot 33%, 3 of 9. Penn 20%, 2 of 10. Penn with the advantage rebounding. The only reason the Kingsmen lead the game, they were 4 of 4 at the foul line. Chesterton with a 2-3 matchup zone. They've actually got a floater in there. Applegate couldn't hit that shot, and the rebound comes down to Alex Schmidt and the Trojans.
Applegate's really able to get that elbow extended shot off a couple times today, just not able to knock it down.
And now Penn will change up its defense. Ludwig came over a little late, and Wadding beat him to the basket.
Yeah, they changed their zone up just a little bit, and they were able to not slide down and get in front of Wadding for that inlet pass.
And now you see Chesterton with a man-to-man this time down the floor. So Mark Urban just trying to throw some tweaks in there to slow down Penn a little bit, but Applegate would not be deterred right there.
Wow.
He made a nice break to the basket. And even though we don't have the arc in high school basketball, I think Applegate got the benefit of an arc call right there.
Yeah, that was player definitely got a lot of body onto Applegate there and easily could have been a 2-point one.
Boy, there's a wrestling match going down on the post between Hoskins and Jake Warren. They're letting them play. Wadding outside, guarded by Carter Hickey.
Nick Mullen, the big 6'9" guy for Chesterton, and hasn't been in a while. I see him sitting over there getting ready to check in, but he's been getting good rest.
Meanwhile, Alex Schmidt tried a 3, and it's well short. And the rebound to Drew Lutz. Ludwig, a good three-point shooter, but his three-point shooting has tailed off a little bit at the end of the season. You wonder if that's messed with his confidence a little bit. I think when we saw him play against Mishawaka, he would have pulled the trigger on that shot outside the arc. He'll pull it here from 15 and miss. Applegate fights for the rebound, gets it, goes over his buddy Wadding and scores. And Right now, it's the Noah Applegate show.
It definitely is. I think the biggest thing is you can see the confidence in him. He wants the ball. He wants to be the guy right now. We've seen that in him in Sparks before in other games where when he wants it and he's on, he's unstoppable almost.
Meanwhile, Chesterton trying to get some looks that aren't corner threes because those aren't dropping. Tyler Nelson goes inside, found Wadding cutting to the hole. That works for them.
How many times have we seen that? Dribble drive, Wadding coming along the baseline, that extra pass to him. He wasn't able to knock him down the first part of the first quarter, but now the last three he has.
But to do that, you've got to be willing to get some dribble penetration against the zone, and at times they have not been. Hoskins inside, goes up strong and banks it in. Keegan Hoskins, the 6'6 senior, universally touted as the most underrated player on this team. He averages 8 points a game and gets his first deuce today.
One of the biggest things of this game so far, too, is only 3 fouls total in the game. Very clean game played so far. Chesterton with 2 fouls, Penn with 1 at this point.
Not a bunch of turnovers either. Each team only had 3 in the first quarter. The winner of this one plays the winner of Northridge and Munster tonight. Wadding, he's been trying to add the 3 to his repertoire. You can tell it's not smooth yet. Applegate, great pass underneath to Hoskins for 2. And timeout called by Mark Urban. 4:22 to go first half. The Kingsmen on a roll, and the Penn faithful come to their feet. They're up by 6 on 46. This edition of the 46 Game of the Week being brought to you by Bill's Heating, keeping families and businesses comfortable since 1951.
Imaginary Finishing Technologies continues to be the industry knowledge for metal finishing solutions. The team at IFT is proud of their efforts, setting the standard for research and development. IFT and the teams in this game are working toward the same goal, which is a great finish.
Congratulations to both Culver Academy and Argus. They have moved on to the regional finals. Argus beat Covenant Christian today 53-34 in a battle of top 10 teams in 1A. Culver Academy with a 53-37 win over Hanover Central in the 3A regional at South Bend, Washington.
Both great victories, Argus especially. Argus playing, kind of the unknown coming into this tournament, into this season as well.
Travis Grayson with a bad three-point shot. Penn has really forced Chesterton into some bad looks from outside the arc, and the Kingsmen have taken advantage with a 6-point lead. Lutz tries to work on Grayson. Grayson bodies him up pretty well, and then Lutz got forced into a travel. That was outstanding defense by Grayson. You also have to remember big 6'9" Nick Mullen was back there.
He was on the other side, and I think Drew saw that and really couldn't get that shot off. He would have been in the third row.
3:37 to go before halftime when you meet our TCU Student Athletes of the Week. Plus, we'll have halftime stats and highlights. Jack Eaton for 3. He can't hit either, and the rebound controlled by Applegate. What a defensive job by Penn here in this first half.
Yeah, they're not giving any second chance points for Chesterton at all, really defending them.
Here's the break that Chesterton needed, and Grayson takes it in for 2. Might have gotten away with a walk.
Yeah, kind of either double dribble walk, whatever you want to call it. He got away with one there, that's for sure.
Ball seemed to come up and hit him in the face on the dribble. Nevertheless, Kingsmen lead whittled to 4.
Grayson, a freshman, averaging 6.5 a game.
Hickey tried to throw a backdoor pass that got deflected off the backboard. Grayson will come down again, and Hoskins says, not here. Hickey stepped out of bounds trying to save it. Keegan Hoskins says denial ain't just a river in Egypt on the 46 replay.
That was a good job of Hoskins coming in, getting a good block. Almost recovered by Penn there as well.
2:43 to go, first half. Timeout called by Penn. It's a 17-13 Kingsmen lead on 46. Edition of the TV 46 High School Basketball Game of the Week being brought to you by the electrical workers of Local 153. They're making our community brighter. Chuck Freeby and Bo Hunt with you, and boy, this Penn team, they should know the roads to victory. Their head coach certainly does. 4th among active coaches in Indiana with 617 wins and 13th on the all-time list.
A lot of respect all across the state of Indiana for Coach Al Rhodes. Just tremendous guy who's going to be there for the team, for the kids, and really try to develop a program and not just win titles.
Colton Cardenas misses on the three. A rare offensive rebound for Chesterton. We'll see if the Trojans can take advantage. Grayson has been a difference maker.
Wow. Foot.
How that was not a travel, I'm not sure, but he takes advantage, and Grayson has 6.
Wow. Last 2 buckets by Grayson, both of them little controversy. I believe his foot dragged about 12 inches on that one.
Lutz with the left, and a dandy shot. If you got points for degree of difficulty, that'd be a 3. Grayson comes the other way, goes through Lutz, but a block called on Lutz, and Al Rhodes has questions.
Yeah, again, right there, Grayson again in a little controversy. His arm came up and actually pushed off on that one. Lutz wasn't quite set on that, but here you can see him coming in. Wow, that's not a lower the shoulder.
Meanwhile, back to live action, a steal by Lutz. Ludwig open for 3. The iron unkind, the ball pinballs around, and Eaton wanted to get a timeout, but he couldn't as he slid out of bounds. But you saw from Jack Eaton's dive right there, the hustle that he brings to this Chesterton team.
Definitely, that's one thing that you're going to be getting out of this Chesterton team is they're going to be hustling. They're going to be going after everything. They're going to give 110% effort on every single play.
Interesting substitution here with Lutz picking up his 2nd foul on that block. Al Rhodes is going to go to his bench, and he's going to put in Evan Groves, a 5'9" junior, who scores less than a point a game.
Yeah, bringing in, just getting a little break. Can't afford, I mean, 4 fouls total between 2 teams. Well, Lutz has got both of them for Penn.
So Penn will try to survive the final 90 seconds of the first half without its point guard and second leading scorer. And it nearly results in a turnover there. Ball goes out of bounds off Ludwig. He was really shoved from behind by Eaton, but there was no call.
It looked like he was trying to block off the ball and because they hadn't touched it, and Chesterton kid came in and hit it, and they say it went off of Ludwig there.
So here come the Trojans, trailing by 4. Give Chesterton credit. They've taken advantage of opportunities that Penn has presented them in this quarter. Eaton stripped of the ball by Hoskins. Ludwig to Applegate on the run. And Applegate travel.
Another turnover for Penn here with a minute to go, up by 4.
Drew Vanderwood comes in. Sean Elliott comes in for Chesterton. So the wave of Trojans continuing to try to wear down Penn here in the first half. And Chesterton, despite a woeful shooting performance from outside the arc, just keeps hanging around and hanging around.
Yeah, and when you talk about that, Grayson goes for it. There it is. 9 points for Grayson.
And a child shall lead them. The freshman coming up big in the regional. It's a 1-point game. The Trojan faithful turning the end bleachers into a bounce house. Backdoor Applegate, bucket on the bump.
Wow. 13 points for Noah Applegate, and that's the biggest one of the first half.
What a beautiful backdoor cut. He caught Drew Vanderwood sleeping, and Vanderwood fouls him on the way up. Applegate will try to get the old-fashioned three-point play. 77% free throw shooter. Had 29 against Riley. He misses that one. Chesterton will hold for the last shot, down 3.
Chance to tie or to get within 1.
Wadding tried to direct traffic. Wadding spins inside. Right-hand scoop won't go. Ludwig's three-quarter court shot is just short. And the first half comes to an end with the Penn Kingsmen leading the Chesterton Trojans 21-18. Noah Applegate with a huge first half for the Kingsmen. He had 13 points in the opening half. but he's not one of our TCU Student Athletes of the Week this week. Who are they? Stick around. We'll have them next on 46. Halftime here at Michigan City, game one of the regional. It's time to meet our TCU Student Athletes of the Week. They're brought to us by our friends at Teachers Credit Union. Go online and find out how you can become a member. Visit them on tcu.com. Chuck Freeby standing by with two outstanding representatives of these academic institutions. We have Drew Lutz from Penn, Jacqueline Klimzak from Chesterton. We'll start with the visiting team, the Penn Kingsmen, and Drew has done a magnificent job in the classroom, and I know from covering my share of Lutzes over the years, this isn't just your idea. This comes from Spencer and Peggy.
Yeah, my parents are a big part of my classroom. You know, I love getting up extra shots, but they make sure I'm studying and keeping up on my grades.
Well, getting up extra shots does take a lot of time these days, and I know you've really put in a lot of time on the basketball court. Where do you think you've made the most progress as a player?
I really feel like I've grown as a leader. Just Coach Rhodes has helped me with that. Varsity experience is big on that as well.
Now you're getting ready to move your career on to Bethel College. Your brother, your siblings all played there. Bethel's season unfortunately came to an end this week. What made you choose that institution?
I really love the culture, the family culture they have there. The players all seem so close. It's like a brotherhood, and I just love that part of that.
All right, that's Drew Lutz from Penn High School. Over here we have Jacqueline Klimzak from Chesterton. Not just an all-state swimmer, my friends, an all-American swimmer. How in the world do you get that honor?
It's just kind of like if you go a certain time, you kind of get ranked based on what time you go, and I just happen to fall in the top 100. So.
Terrific job, and a terrific job in the classroom where you get a 3.8. Swimming takes a lot of time. The hours are not 9 to 5 by any means. So how do you find the time to balance all that with the academics as well?
Yeah, kind of just as soon as you get home from some practice, you kind of have to start on your homework. And then whatever time you have in class, you really just have to use it, and you have to use your study halls for what they are, to study, and you kind of just have to be really strict with your schedule.
I'm sure there are some people along the way that have had to perhaps influence you spending a little more time on the classroom than going out and doing things. Who are some of those people that have been a good influence in your life?
My older siblings, definitely, they kind of showed me what you had to do. And then just older kids who graduated early, like Vanessa Krause and Lauren Calais, they kind of showed me, you know, this is the schedule you have to follow, and if you do, you'll be able to be successful in and out of the water.
Now, you've decided to go to the University of Cincinnati to swim. What made you choose that, and what made you choose dietetics as a major?
Yeah, well, my great-grandpa actually coached football at the University of Cincinnati, so my dad kind of wanted me to at least look at it. So when I went there, I immediately just loved it. I loved how athletics were a big part of it. And then I wanted to stay somewhere in sports, so that's kind of where dietetics fell in, because it's an easy way to get with kids who are athletic as well, and that's kind of what I want to stay in.
A Kingsman and a Trojan who are going to be a pilot and a Bearcat. Drew Lutz and Jacqueline Klimzak are TCU Student Athletes of the Week. We invite you to go online to tcu.net and find out how you can become a member. When we return, we've got halftime highlights and stats. Stay with us here on TV 46. This edition of the TV 46 High School Basketball Game of the Week is being brought to you by Crown Trophy. They're nationally known and locally owned. Halftime here at the Wolves Den in Michigan City. Penn leading this Class 4A regional semifinal by a count of 21-18. Chuck Freeby and Bo Hunt high above the fray. What you think the first half?
Kind of what we expected. We knew it was going to be a defensive battle. We knew teams were going to get after it. High atmosphere, stars step up, and Applegate's definitely stepped up a bit.
More three-point shots than we anticipated.
Yeah.
Most of them missed. Let's take a look and see how it got to be this way inside the Wolves' Den, because those three-point shots were dropping early, which sometimes can be the worst thing that can happen to a team. Nick Mullen hit one. Noah Applegate hit one. Might have been just about all three-pointers in the half for both teams. Travis Grayson finally started slashing inside. He had 9 points in the first half for Chesterton, but Noah Applegate, as you mentioned, was the man for Penn in the first half. Jake Wadding, the leading scorer for Chesterton, held to 6 points in the half. Nobody was able to keep Applegate in check. They rotated different people on him, but he was just persistent on offense. Wadding kept coming in, but they didn't get the ball to him that much in scoring position. Applegate got the ball in scoring position a lot, had 13 points in the half. Grayson hit a 3 to make it a 1-point game. It's now a 3-point game. As you look at the first half stats,
yeah, I think some of the key things that really stick out is three-pointers, and not just the misses, but shots. Chesterton with 10, Penn with only 5. Normally we would see that actually switched on that scenario. And then free throws, Penn's gone to the line 5 times, made 4. Chesterton with a big fat 0. They have not gone to the line. Penn's done a great job of that. And then when you look at turnovers, Penn only averages 10 a game. They already have 8 at halftime. So that's going to be a concern. I think that's something Coach Rhodes is going to talk to his team about here at halftime.
And Drew Lutz, their point guard, has 2 fouls. Yeah. So let's see if Chesterton tries to attack him in the early going. We'll talk about that when we come back and get you ready for second half play-by-play. 21-18 Penn at the intermission. Your second half comes your way next on 46. Edition of the TV 46 High School Basketball Game of the Week is being brought to you by Imagineering Finishing Technologies, IFT, where quality is a way of life. Typically, we like to give you a Bills Heating sideline report and let you know what kind of adjustments both coaches are going to make. Normally, Bo, you get the chance to talk to the coaches down on the court. That's not an option today, so what do you see both teams doing?
Well, when I look at Chesterton, I think they need to forget about the 3, and not just all the threes from the corners. They haven't been close on those threes. They really need to start working that ball inside. They did a great job when Grayson drives and then dishes it off, and that's what they need to continue to do. On Penn, on the other hand, we talked about it, the spotlight, the atmosphere. This is a regional semifinal game, a chance to go to the regional championship. Well, Noah Applegate stepped up, but everybody else hasn't. Everybody else looks like, I kind of want to be here, I kind of don't, You need to step up. It's time to play. It's time to show that emotion out there and really be a team out there together.
Now, in fairness, the defensive effort has been there for Penn. And I think you also have to give credit to Chesterton defensively. They have defended well on the inside, and they have a factor with Mullen at 6'9" that no other team that Penn has played this year has had.
Yeah, and we saw that a couple times when Lutz was dribble driving. He had somebody guarding him, then all of a sudden you see this big 6'9" guy inside. Well, you can't really take an arching shot because, he's going to be there as well to block it.
So Chesterton begins the second half with the basketball and a 3-point deficit. Penn will stay in the 2-3 zone. No, they come out of it a little bit. They go into a trap and try to create a little chaos here. Chesterton has handled it well so far. Wadding loses the ball out of bounds, though. So a veteran move by Al Rhodes. He comes out looking like he's going to play 2-3, changes it right away, and makes the Chesterton players adjust on the fly.
Yeah, you could tell there was a little bit of confusion by the Chesterton players. They were looking at it as just a basic zone, but a 1-3-1 trap, and they were able to get a turnover out of it.
Meanwhile, Hoskins misses on the up and under. Another shot altered by Mullen. Here comes Wadding the other way with a great dish to Grayson, who missed the layup.
Oh, what a great pass by Wadding. Just Grayson couldn't knock it down.
Lutz. It pops right out to Grayson. He falls down, and again, the popcorn popper hits it over to Lutz. What a catch by Hoskins, but he couldn't hit.
Looked like he might have twisted his ankle a little bit. He's kind of hobbling a little bit as he goes back down the court.
He is not moving well right now. And Chesterton takes advantage with the corner 3 from Jack Eaton. Good thing they don't listen to you.
Yeah, no doubt.
We're tied at 21, and Al Rhodes wants a timeout. He wants to check on the status of Keegan Hoskins. 6:45 to go in the third, and we're knotted at 21 in the regional semifinal on 46. Edition of the TV 46 High School Basketball Game of the Week is being brought to you by the Indiana High School Athletic Association, partnering with TV 46 for 30 years. So Keegan Hoskins turns his ankle on this catch, land, and shoot. And he comes out of the game. Casey Schultz, who has played in only 10 games this season, wears number 45, comes in. Physical, inside player. But how will he be able to help the Kingsmen? Hickey misses. Well, Schultz makes his presence known with an offensive rebound right away. Lutz triggers the 3. Drew Lutz's first 3 of the day gives him 7 points. and puts the Kingsmen back on top.
That was a good look by Lutz. Looked for the three at first, took one little dribble, and the guy backed off and was all confidence in that three-pointer. It wasn't like he was hesitant. We've seen Ludwig a little bit hesitant on his three-point shot, and he needs to really gain that confidence back as well.
But all set up by the offensive rebound by the sparingly used Schultz. Here's Grayson penetrating against the zone. Now they get an open look in the corner. That one will not go for Eaton, and the rebound comes to Penn. Lutz with a crossover on Grayson, then gets hammered going in.
Grayson picking up his second foul of the night. Good job by Hickey really taking it to him again.
So Travis Grayson called for the foul, and it'll be Drew Lutz going to the line. Lutz, an 82% foul shooter, a member of the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. One of 4 siblings to play at Penn High School.
Talked about the free throw shooting at halftime. Penn now 5 of 6 from the line. They're 74% on the year versus Chesterton only 64% on the year.
Well, and Chesterton is 0% today because they have not gone to the line yet.
And then a lot of championship coaches will talk you. You can win games at the line and you can win championships at the line.
Well, this has been a hallmark of Al Rhodes' teams forever, is getting to the line and cashing it in. 9 points now for Lutz. Penn gets the lead up to 5. Biggest margin today has been 6. Inside, knocked away by Applegate, who had great anticipation on that play. Lutz in transition to Hickey, bucket and bump, and here come the Kingsmen.
What a great look by Lutz to Hickey. Hickey with the great finish.
Watch it again, and Lutz with the no look to Carter Hickey. And the 5'10 junior, who's a second baseman on the Penn baseball team, was able to handle the pivot there. Hickey only a 61% foul shooter. Unfortunately lived up to the reputation, but Penn with its biggest lead.
Penn kind of sagging back now, got out of that trap, doing a 2-3 zone now.
Inside to Drew Vanderwood. Grayson, who had the hot hand early, but stripped away by Ludwig, and he gets it pilfered from behind. It's a rugby scrum, which should be fine for Penn. Ludwig, did he get a timeout called?
Right, foul.
Who's the foul going to be on?
You call it Waddy, maybe? No.
I believe so.
Yep, 23.
Mark Urban thought he had all ball.
Very surprising they didn't call a jump ball a lot sooner than that.
And Keegan Hoskins will check back into the Penn lineup in another big development.
Casey Schultz with a great job coming in there, filling in for Hoskins for that 3-4 minutes that he was in there.
That offensive rebound that Schultz got has sparked this 7-0 run. A lot of contact from Eaton there, no call. Lutz, and it was anticipated well by Tyler Nelson.
Tyler Nelson playing defensive back there.
Grayson, Grayson seems to almost travel on every play.
Wow.
Wadding, lots of contact, and finally a foul call. Wow.
Yeah. Little contact by Ludwig first, and then they end up calling on Hoskins, I believe.
That's the first on Hoskins, and Chesterton will make its first trip to the line. Jake Wadding, only a 61% free throw shooter.
Something I'm sure the All-Duneland Conference player will be working on this offseason is his free throw shooting.
Well, he's done a good job in the off seasons in the past of getting stronger and working on his outside shot. Last summer, he lost 20 pounds with the flu and really had to rebuild his strength. He's had a very good season considering all that. He has 8 points. Midway through the third, this is a 5-point Penn lead. Applegate, down low, double teamed and fouled. I think Jack Eaton might have bodied him up just a little too much that time.
Yeah, he definitely did a little bit. And you saw Wadding coming across. Applegate would have had a little bit of a hard time getting that all the way to the rim anyways with Wadding there as well.
Applegate missed in his last trip to the line. He's 2 out of 3 today.
Teachers Credit Union understands the importance of growing your future. Whether you're growing your family, your square footage, or your business, Teachers Credit Union is here for you with the financial solutions that will help you succeed. Visit tcunet.com to start growing your future today. They're federally insured by the NCUA, and they're an equal housing opportunity.
Those are the first 2 points of the second half for Noah Applegate. 15 now for the game. Eaton on the drive. Boy, he crashes in, and it's a charge called on Jack Eaton. Keegan Hoskins, again, doing the dirty work.
Back-to-back fouls now on Eaton.
He's been physical all game, and that's his style. But this time, Hoskins was planted at the post.
Very physical game. Even from up top here, we can definitely tell that this is a very physical game. Normally, I'm used to being down there on the sidelines. I can really see the
You're
action.
probably missing being down there with this one. This probably reminds you of indoor football.
It does a lot. I mean, it is very physical down there. There's a lot of bodies moving back and forth and a lot of contact.
Hoskins just got hacked on the way up, and he'll go to the line for a 2-shot foul.
Hoskins really stepping it up on the interior here in the second half.
Keegan Hoskins, the 6'6 senior, going to be a baseball player at Kankakee Community College. He won't take these free throws until after the 32nd timeout with 3:14.
I think one of the biggest things, I know Mark Urban's going to be talking to the refs about the foul disparity here in the second half. 6 fouls for Chesterton, only 1 for Penn at this point. There are fouls, they are being called out there, but you know, a lot of the stuff is being given away.
We will continue down the Turney Trail next Saturday with IHSA semi-state action. Now, I know the promo right there says 10 p.m. I'll be honest with you, folks. I don't know what time the game's going to be on because we don't know who's going to be playing or where they're going to be playing. Once we find it all out, we'll put it on Twitter, Facebook, or website and let you know. But just reserve yourself some time for some high school basketball next Saturday on TV 46. We know one semi-state's at Northside Gym, and that's where we will likely be, but we can't say for certain.
A lot of great teams still left. CMA moving on to the championship. Argus moving on to the championship. Penn here increasing their lead now. Northridge, a team that's really kind of unexpected, under the radar, but they've won a lot of games in a row, 12 games in a row. They're a team that shouldn't be overlooked as well.
Hoskins with 6 points in the contest, and Penn with its biggest lead at 32-23. The winner of this one plays the winner of Northridge and Munster tonight, right here at the Wolves' Den. Chesterton not out of this by any means, though. The Trojans, if they can get hot from outside the arc, have the weapons to get back. Wadding tries to go inside and couldn't connect. The rebound saved beautifully by Ludwig. Lutz down the lane with the left. Applegate knocked it away for an offensive rebound, and then he missed the 3, and that gives Eaton a breakout. Grayson at the other end for 2.
What a nice fast break. Eaton, great job on giving that extra pass to Grayson. Grayson now with 11 points.
Applegate makes a great catch on a Lutz pass, but he traveled. Facial expressions sometimes tell a lot.
They definitely do. Penn approaching that 40-point mark. That 40-point mark is kind of that barrier we talked about. Chesterton doesn't like teams to get over that points if they're not shooting the ball well.
Wadding looks perhaps a little winded, but he goes in strong and shows that he's not. Hoskins fouls him, and Wadding could make this a 3-point game.
Great job, great body control by Wadding there, really getting it in. Great inlet pass, gets it in, uses his body well. A little bit of body by Hoskins inside. Wadding's like, let's go.
Mark Urban called for that play as soon as he saw Hoskins was the man down on the low post. He felt Wadding could beat him. But Wadding misses the free throw, so the Penn lead stays at 5. Drew Lutz handles it up top on Nelson. Well, that pass was nearly knocked away. There have been some dangerous passes by the Kingsmen in this one, and that one finally is stolen away and a foul called on Penn.
Looks like it's going to go on Ludwig. Turns the ball over and then picks up the foul. Ludwig with his first foul in the night. Got his the third team. Yeah, third team foul here in the second half.
You mentioned at halftime, Penn normally only gets 10 turnovers a game. Well, they're over that count now. And that's a credit to how good this Chesterton defense is. Watching them, you can now understand why they bedeviled so many teams in that Portage section.
Yeah, I think a lot of the reasons is, when they're playing defense, if the other team does beat them or get around them, they have an ability to stay with the play still and knock it from behind and cause that turnover. Grayson
misses. Boy, Hoskins really took an elbow down there to the solar plexus, and he looks a little worse for wear. Wadding came in with the block, but they call, I think, a charge on Ludwig for going over Vanderwood.
Yeah, he was set. It looked like Ludwig was going to go there no matter what. Yep, he gets in there, sets the body. Might have slid over a little bit and under the basket, but they don't have that in high school.
Yeah, the under the basket isn't the big thing there. It's whether the feet were still moving, but it's a bang-bang play. Meanwhile, this momentum is turned, and Wadding with a flush.
Coach Alrode's talking to his teammates, telling them to settle down.
Three-point game.
The fans aren't settling down in this one.
The Wolves' Den as loud as it's been all day. Lutz tried to go backdoor, double team, finds his man Hoskins, erased by Wadding. Lutz strip, Applegate loses it, Chesterton ball. And Mark Urban wants to take advantage of the momentum. Let's see if his team holds for the last shot. They probably will. Wadding loose on Applegate. Drops it off. Vanderwood. Lutz for three. Rebound. Ludwig fouled on the way up with .3 left. Helped up well by Colton Cardenas, who fouled him.
If that's Cardenas, that I believe is his third foul.
And it is. Meanwhile, Bo Ludwig, who is a 71% free throw shooter on the year, goes to the line for the first time today. He has not scored in this game. Chesterton, once trailed by 7, has cut it to 1, and Ludwig misses the first. Jake Warren checks in, the big 6'6" junior there to make sure Hoskins doesn't get an offensive tip. Ludwig hits the second, and it will be Chesterton with one last heave down the floor, and it's a 2-point game as we go to the fourth quarter. We thought it would be a tooth pull. It has been as emotional and as intense as anything you'd want to see in a regional semifinal. Jake Wadding is fired up, and the Trojans are within 2 of the Kingsmen on 46. This edition of the 46 Game of the Week brought to you in part by Thor Industries, the world's largest RV manufacturer. 13 turnovers by the Penn Kingsmen have allowed Chesterton to get back into the game. But, Bo, we would normally come to you for a Bills Heating sideline report. What do you got for me through 3?
Well, I think the biggest thing in that third quarter was Wadding taking over down there. Just the emotion, really getting the crowd into it. It's been a quiet, it's not capacity filled, but there's a lot of people in here, and it's been quite quiet for most of the part of here in the for this first semifinal game. But the crowd really got going, especially on that dunk by Wadding. Here in the fourth quarter, I think the biggest thing is momentum. Who can stop the momentum or gain the momentum in different spurts? Because basketball is a game of spurts, and you're going to have those.
And here's a fact of life, and it may not please everybody in Granger or Madison Township, but Penn's the 6th largest school in the state of Indiana, and their fan base is lonely here because there are 3 other schools rooting against them in this gym right now.
There's a lot of fans here, and most of them are from the other schools as well. You can see the student body for Chesterton down there, and then the Penn, I don't quite see the Penn student body down there.
They did not show out today. So Jack Eaton went up to try to get the ball. He fell out of bounds. He tried to draw a foul against Applegate. It didn't get called, and so Penn has the ball underneath. Hoskins had his jersey grabbed, no call. It's been physical. By the way, in terms of fouls, Chesterton has 7, Penn has 4. Lutz's pull-up jumper is good. That's a big bucket. We have a whistle and a timeout. They're pointing to a fan over in the stands. I think he might have had some sort of flash camera going on.
You know, that was a nice little pull-up by Lutz there, though. A little step dribble, a little step back. Nice bucket. That's a big bucket to stop the bleeding that Chesterton was doing to him.
The point being that with the 7 fouls on Chesterton, Penn is in the bonus the rest of the way. Chesterton needs a couple more common fouls from Penn to get to the line. Al Rhodes confused as to why there's such a delay. And the game resumes. Penn sets up in that 2-3 zone. And there's Wadding up in the middle. Eaton hit a key 3 at the beginning of the third quarter. Now Wadding again, working over Applegate. Applegate defended him well that time. Rebound loose. Diving on the floor is Applegate to get it. Lutz the other way. That's a pretty nice safety valve to have in the 6'6" senior. Penn by 4. They have not trailed in the second half. Stolen away by Vanderwood. Grayson again nearly travels. Vanderwood misses the 3, and here's Hoskins with the rebound.
We'll see if maybe Chesterton does any trapping here to get Penn in trouble a little bit and try to get something going here on defense.
Chesterton has effectively disrupted the rhythm of the Kingsmen. You see passes being bobbled that would normally be caught cleanly, and it's keeping Penn from getting good looks. Applegate got a decent look that time, but had a hand in his face. Vanderwood gets the rebound. Eaton with a drive down the lane, and he gets fouled on the way up. I think it's on Hoskins.
Yeah, Hoskins picking up his 3rd. That's one of those where you either get over or you get out of the way. He just kind of did the in-between and got some body on Eaton. Eaton, great job of really just going to the hoop, taking it strong.
That young man, Jack Eaton, is Mr. Soccer in the state of Indiana, much like Mr. Basketball for this sport. High school All-American in soccer, who is headed to Valparaiso University. As you see Nick Mullen and Jake Warren check back in. The tall group on the floor right now as they try to give Wadding a breather. Eaton, 73% free throw shooter, and he missed the second. Ludwig lets the rebound go out of bounds, and it'll go to Chesterton.
No, I don't even know if that touched anybody, but at that point, I mean, you have the ball, just go ahead and pick it up right there.
I'm going to trust that the officials had a better look than we did from a long way away.
Oh, yeah.
Mullen with the head and shoulder fake. Cardenas outside. He's been quiet today. Well, that was a short break for Wadding. He's already back at the scorer's table waiting to check in. Grayson underneath, beautiful pass, and he finds Jake Warren open for his first basket. We're back to a 1-point game.
Great ball movement, great pass by Grayson. This freshman, I tell you what, he's got a career ahead of him.
The Duneland not happy to see 3 more years of that fella. Lutz from the top of the key cannot hit. Ludwig, a big offensive rebound and a great move, but he couldn't finish. And then he fouled.
Third foul for Ludwig. Again, the second time in a row where he's either turned the ball over or missed a shot and is fouled right after that. And that shows a little bit of frustration and a little bit of lack of that confidence that you have in your offensive game.
So Warren, who just had that key basket, comes out. And Chesterton with a chance to take the lead with less than 5 minutes left. Eaton, though, double teamed, and Lutz with the steal. He'll come all the way and get fouled by Eaton, his third. And then Applegate and Cardenas, and there's a technical foul called on Cardenas, but Applegate better make sure he doesn't get one too.
Yeah, it was a play where Applegate came in after the play. Here you can see it on our great replay. Lutz comes down, makes a spin. There's the foul called, and then you see the aftermath of the play. Applegate comes in. It was incidental contact on Cardenas. Fell over, and then Cardenas was the shove. Anytime you throw a shove with an arm or a punch, they consider that a punch, and they're going to call a technical foul on that.
Cardenas felt somebody coming down on his back. Had no reason to believe that Applegate would be going up to try to get a rebound. Applegate's following the play. I don't know whether he heard the whistle or not. He's going up to try to get a rebound basket. But in the confusion, Cardenas is going to let his temper get the best of him here. Here's Cardenas. He's kind of stumbling. He maybe heard the whistle already. Applegate didn't. He's going up to get the rebound. Then Applegate gets undercut. And when Cardenas felt somebody on his back, he says something to Applegate right in front of the official, and that's when the tech was given. The other thing is that is a foul on Cardenas. The technical counts as a foul, so he has 4 fouls now.
Yeah, that is true. He picked up his 4th foul. The 9th, the next one for Chesterton, it'll be a double bonus for Penn.
And in the meantime, Lutz will be going to the line for 1 in the bonus, and then there's a technical. So a chance, perhaps.
Did they call Lutz on the ground, or was that during shooting?
Either way, Lutz will be going to the line.
For 2. Or,
could be going 1 and 1, could be going 2. I get your point.
They're calling it 2, yeah.
Yep, they're calling 2 shot, which I wasn't sure if they had called it on the floor or not. And you get the feeling if Lutz hits the first 2, they'll say go ahead and take the next 2.
Yeah. Imagineering Finishing Technologies continues to be the industry knowledge for metal finishing solutions. The team at IFT is proud of their efforts, setting the standard for research and development. IFT and the teams in this game are working toward the same goal, which is a great finish.
So Lutz missed the second one. Now he takes the technical free throws. And Drew Lutz, 1 by 1, adding to the total here. Applegate with 15, and Lutz currently with 13, trying to make it 14 here. He does. It's a 38-34 Penn lead, and they get the ball here as well. So that's a huge technical on Cardenas.
Yeah, up by 1, and you get out of that possession. You're up by 4, and you get the ball at this point, and Cardenas has 4 fouls as well.
Penn will now try to work some backdoor plays, work the perimeter. Lutz with a 3 that wouldn't go. Applegate, a huge offensive rebound, couldn't get it to go. And it's finally controlled by Eaton. Boy, those were some golden opportunities for the Kingsmen to put some distance between them and the Trojans.
Yep.
Tyler Nelson with the ball. Now Grayson. Wadding has been huge here in the second half, as he has been for Chesterton all season. Trojans taking their time. You see the clock in the lower right-hand corner of your screen on the Thor Industries scoreboard. Less than 4 minutes to go in the regional semifinal. Grayson found Mullen inside, who got it right back out to him. Grayson over Applegate, couldn't hit the high archer. Well contested by Applegate.
Yeah, great defensive stance by Penn there. Really manning up there on the zone and not letting any ball get inside. And if it did, they were able to not let any dribble drive go as well.
Did the freshman force it a little bit there?
Yeah, I think maybe a little bit, yeah, because he didn't make that extra pass. You can see Penn actually is moving it out. They're going to their not stall offense, but more of their ball control, make a few passes there.
Lutz for three. Rebound tipped out of bounds. It'll belong to Chesterton.
While you're cheering on your favorite team from the stands, know that Thor Industries is your biggest fan. As the largest RV manufacturer in the world and with 16 Thor companies in northern Indiana, we have a spot for you on our starting lineup. Visit thorindustries.com to get started.
Chesterton down 4. Eaton faked on the 3. Now Grayson. Eaton will take it this time, and short, and a big rebound for Applegate. And Penn will take its time.
Yep, Penn little moving on up. You know, I talked about halfway through that third quarter about Penn at 32 points getting closer to that 40 mark. Well, 2.5 minutes, and they still haven't quite got to that point yet. Chesterton really D'ing it up and making them earn every single point.
What a job Mark Urban's team has done defensively today. Carter Hickey on the dribble here, finds Hoskins underneath.
Oh,
up
boy.
and under, and that's a big bucket.
Big move by Hoskins. Kids at home, that's how you pump fake down low.
Wadding spins against Applegate and got it to go.
Terrific post move play by both these teams down low. Wadding with a great job, great spin move.
The two old AAU buddies going head-to-head right there. Wadding got the better of it, and a timeout call. 2:13 to go. Chesterton's Jake Wadding goes to the line when we come back with a chance to make it a one-possession game on 46. Edition of the TV 46 High School Basketball Game of the Week is being brought to you by Teachers Credit Union. Grow your future. Visit tcunet.com. Chuck Creepy and Bo Hunt from the Wolves Den. I don't think they're going to rip up the ticker tape at all, Bo, but Penn might be celebrating because Chesterton did not allow any of its 3 sectional opponents to score 40 points. And the Kingsmen have finally arrived at that mark, but that's 33 points below their average for the season.
Yeah, and we talked about it, just the way Penn's able to really put up numbers, only twice below 60. Never below, those two times weren't even below 50. So this is a very low-paced, low-scoring game for Penn. But again, you got to put the credit to Chesterton's defense. You talked about it a little while ago about just normal-looking passes are being bobbled and being mishandled because of the way Chesterton playing defense here today.
Whether it's the physicality, the length, the quickness, all those factors play into it. And so here's Jake Wadding, who has 14 points on the day. He averages 17.5 a game at the line. And he couldn't hit that one, but a big rebound by Eaton.
Eaton's been having a spectacular day today. He's been all over the court.
You can see why Mark Urban likes him. He says he'll do everything it takes to win, and Eaton has done that today. 4-point deficit, and Mark Urban wants another timeout with 1:58 to go.
Under 2 minutes for your chance to go to the regional final game tonight here in the Wolves Den in Michigan City. 2 great quality teams. A regional that everybody said any 4 of these teams could win today, and I believe any 4 teams could win this regional here.
Oh, who's going to win the ACC championship? Malcolm McGraw's team looked very solid, winning on Friday. They play Syracuse today, and if they win that game, you'll hear the ACC championship final Sunday on Pulse FM. Our buddy Bob Nagel down in Greensboro, North Carolina. Huge regional for the Irish, or huge conference tournament for the Irish women. If they want to play in the regional at Chicago, they need to win the ACC title.
They have to. If they don't, they're not going to get the 1 seed. I do not believe that they will. They have to win the championship in the tournament in order to get that 1 seed. They want to win that. They want to be close to home, and it helps. Notre Dame's been at home how many years now in a row for their NCAA tournament And that's one of the key things because they draw so well and they can draw a crowd, especially if they're in the Chicago area.
Meanwhile, a nail-biter today down in North Judson in Game 1. Andrean leads Michigan City Marquette 70-67 with less than a minute left in that one. Here, a minute 53 to go. Chesterton trailing by 4, but they have the ball. Wadding with the move that he's used all day for 2.
Dribbles right. He almost always goes right, but he's able to spin left if you're overplaying him. Here they're doing a full court trap.
And Lutz throws it off the leg of Wadding to keep the possession for Penn.
Penn not quite ready for that full court trap. They just kind of threw it into Lutz and nobody was really set up. Here they're getting set up.
It's the first Chesterton has pressed today. Al Rhodes mentioned to me during the week he didn't think they were a pressing team. Well, then they put Mullen at the top of that press at 6'9", challenging the inbounds pass, and a bumping foul called on Tyler Nelson will send Drew Lutz to the line.
And he's actually going to line for 2 because they're in the double bonus at this point.
Free throws win basketball games, kids. You can watch all the highlights of three-pointers and dunks you want. These kinds of shots have Penn in the lead today.
They do. If you're going to look at just one category where Penn won in this game at this point, it's at the free throw line.
That one danced on the iron like a hummingbird with sore feet, but it finally went through.
I'll take your word on it. Lutz with 15 points on the night, going for number 16 to give him a 4-point lead in a 2-possession game.
He hit them both. Penn has only missed 4 free throws today, and they lead by 4. Wadding lost the ball. Penn's basketball.
Keegan Hoskins' defense on that play made the difference. He came over, put the pressure on Wadding, and Wadding, normally you're going to call that on a pin because it looks like they knocked the ball out, but Wadding's the one that kind of knocked it out himself.
Here comes the full court pressure from the Trojans again. They find Hickey. He held on to it, and Lutz now has numbers. Applegate left it off the side of the backboard, and now Chesterton with numbers. Nelson fouled underneath by Hickey.
Not really sure what happened on that play. Applegate had it wide open. They had numbers 3-on-1, and what a great job by Chesterton altering that shot.
But again, this is what Chesterton does. They have found some free rental space in the heads of the Penn Kingsmen.
Tyler Nelson going to line for a 1-and-1 here.
63% foul shooter. Got the first one to crawl home for his first points of the day. The All-Duneland Conference outfielder. Honor roll student. Was more of a scorer his sophomore year, but has been beset by ankle injuries this season. 6'1" junior, averages 7.5 points a game. Again, that was his first point for today. He now has 2. Wow.
I can tell he's a baseball player. That was a line drive on that free throw.
He got a lot of iron, that's for sure.
It's the way I like to shoot him.
Lutz finds Hoskins. And Hoskins is fouled.
Looked like that was Eaton fouling Hoskins on purpose. Hoskins, a 62% free throw shooter from the line.
Yep.
You know, as a team, they shoot 74, so he's probably one of their not so efficient free throw shooters.
And in a 2-point game, these are huge. 4th foul called on Jack Eaton. And Hoskins misses the first. The senior averages 8 points a game. He has 8 today. Every free throw in this game seems to just hang on the rim eternally. 3-point game. Wadding outside. Eaton for the tie. Wadding the rebound, stripped by Lutz, out of bounds. Oh, they called a foul on Lutz.
Ooh, wow.
Interesting.
Like a loose ball. They were both going for it. Lutz picking up his 3rd foul, I believe.
Remember, he had 2 in the first half, so he's been able to play the second half cleanly.
And 9th team foul on Penn. Next one to go to double bonus here. Under a minute to play. 3-point game. Wadding, 61% free throw shooter, going to the line.
Hits the first. He has 17 today. Penn will call a timeout, and we'll keep it here with 53.6 seconds left. Well, we have been blessed today to watch three terrific scorers who are all in double digits today, and they have been terrific scorers throughout their careers. Jake Wadding, only a junior. Noah Applegate, the all-time leading scorer at Penn, and he has 15 points today, but only 2 in the second half. Drew Lutz has added 16 to that total, and Jake Wadding has added 17. The bad news for the people in the Duneland Conference, they have to deal with Wadding for another year. I don't know that he's going to challenge Zach Novak, the former IU player, for the all-time Chesterton record, but he might be able to make a run at it.
Yeah, I mean, if he's progressing from this summer to next summer like he has the last couple of summers, there's no doubt in my mind that he's going to become even a better player, being able to, better at the free throw line, better from the three-point shot as well, kind of narrowing that or getting that shot down a little bit better, because his inside game, it's there for sure.
Take me into this timeout. What's the instruction here for Penn?
Well, Penn right now, you don't want to make any turnovers. You don't want to have any costly mistake. Take care of the basketball, and number one thing is you need to box out. If Wadding was happening to miss this shot right here, you have to box out. You cannot give him a second chance point. And anytime you have the ball, take care of the basketball, because they're going to be fouling. You're going to the free throw line.
2-point game with 53.6 seconds left, and Wadding with the second of the one in bonus. Nothing but the bottom of the net. Here comes the pressure again. Wadding at the top of it. And Wadding knocks the ball out of bounds.
Wow, looked like Lutz got drilled in the head and the knee on that a little bit.
For the foul call that was called on Drew Lutz when he knocked the ball away from Wadding, let me just say there was severely less contact on that play than what we just saw right now. But Lutz is going to have to be a tough customer here. He's facing a double team. Ludwig now to Applegate, and now to Hoskins, and he gets fouled. And boy, Al Rhodes could certainly make a case that he might want an intentional foul call there.
Yeah, well, and Applegate had the ball, and he could have held the ball. They were going to come over to him, but as soon as he just got rid of that ball and got it to Hoskins, they fouled him right away. They were looking for that, where Applegate, a 77% free throw shooter, probably should have held on to that ball.
So Keegan Hoskins drills that one. He is 4 of 5 at the line today. He's in double figures with 10. As you see Mark Urban play the offense for defense game here and put in Eaton and Mullen, 2 of his better three-point shooters. Hoskins, the third Penn player in double figures today, knocked them both down like a champ.
What a great job under pressure by Hoskins. 3 out of his last 4 free throws here late in the game. Give him a 3-point lead.
See if Chesterton goes for the 3 right away. Nelson does. He's short. And the rebound to Lutz. And Lutz is fouled by Wadding. So Drew Lutz will go to the foul line. Drew Lutz will go to the foul line here with 32.1 seconds left, and he missed the first. Lutz. He'll get another. This would make it a 2-possession game if he can hit it. And he does. 17 today for Drew Lutz. Travis Grayson intercepted by Hoskins, and Hoskins is fouled from behind by Nick Mullen. And Keegan Hoskins, who, remember, left this game hobbling in the third quarter with an ankle injury, comes back in, and he has shown toughness here in the second half, especially hitting free throws down the stretch. Al Rhodes was really lobbying for an intentional foul called there. Hoskins looked like he was headed for a breakaway. And we still have a whistle as Mark Urban is asking about the foul call, and all of this will cause a deliberation between the officials. The winner of this game faces the winner of Northridge and Munster tonight in the regional championship here in Michigan City. Whatever the problem is at the scorers table has been figured out. And Hoskins misses the first here. Keegan Hoskins, a young man who will play baseball at Kankakee Community College, will have a little more time to think about this one as they take a timeout. 22 and a half seconds left, and it's 46-42. Well, a reminder, we've got more college basketball for you on our radio stations. We talked about the women's basketball that we'll have on 92.1 and 96.9. Well, Indiana has suddenly made a surge in the NCAA and in the Big Ten, and the Hoosiers will look for their fourth straight win to close out the regular season when they have Senior Day at Assembly Hall against the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. You can hear Don Fisher with the call of that one Sunday at noon on your home of the Hoosiers, Harvest 103.1 WHME FM. Al Rhodes with his team in that timeout. Penn has not won a regional since 2006. This is only their second regional appearance since the year 2000. They had one back in 2014 and now this one. Meanwhile, Chesterton playing in its first regional since 1987, and the Trojans have certainly left everything out on the court today, trailing by only 4 in this one. And those Penn cheerleaders hope to continue to have something to cheer for tonight if the Kingsmen can return to this floor at the Wolves' Den. Hoskins with a free throw here that would give the Kingsmen a little more cushion, and he buries it. 12 for the big fella. Chesterton now has to hurry, and Penn extends the defense. Outside the arc, blocked by Hoskins. The rebound to Lutz, and that could just about do it for the Kingsmen. Applegate at the other end with the reverse layup for 2. The Penn Kingsmen are moving on to the regional championship as they eliminate the Chesterton Trojans by a count of 49-42. Bo Hunt has moved courtside, hoping to have a chance to talk with one of the Penn stars after a hotly contested game here in the Wolves' Den today. But Penn moves to 23-3 on the season now. And they await the winner of the second game here in the semifinals between Northridge and Munster. Bo Hunt is waiting down in the corner of the court for some of the Penn players to come by. And he will have a chance to talk with our IU South Bend, fulfilling the promise player of the game. He's standing by now with Bo Hunt.
I got Drew coming over here. Drew, first off, congratulations on the victory. It's just a semifinal game, going to the championship, but congratulations first off.
Thank you, appreciate that.
First half, Noah took over, was just dominant on the inside, but the second half, we talked about somebody else stepping up. You were able to step up. What was the difference in the second half?
Just letting the game come to me, not speeding up. Coach put me in great situations to handle the ball, and that way we got the win.
Very physical game out there. Just talk about the physicality of that game.
Always physical. We knew coming into this, that regional level, it's going to get more physical and tougher.
We talk about everybody in your free throws down the stretch. Free throws win games. You guys won this game because of free throws. Talk about how important that is.
That's very important. We shoot 50 free throws every practice. Coach says treat them like they're game winners, so that's what we did.
Drew, congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Best of luck.
Thank you.
Back to you.
All right, thank you both. Thank you, Drew Lutz. When we come back, we will have our post-game show and our IBEW Electrical Workers play of the game. That's all next on the 46 Game of the Week.
Thanks for watching the WHME TV 46 High School Game of the Week, brought to you by
Penn by a touchdown, something you might get used to hearing during the fall. It's the margin today, a 7-point win for the Penn Kingsmen as they beat Chesterton to move on to tonight's regional final against either Northridge or Munster. Penn winning at 49-42. You got a chance to talk to Drew Lutz afterwards. But I thought another key player in that second half, Bo, was Keegan Hoskins, and he's featured here in our Electrical Workers Local 153 electrifying play of the game. It happened after the technical foul, giving Penn a little more margin for error in this one.
Yeah, he did a great job. What a great move. Ball fake, going up and under, getting the bucket. It gave him I believe a 6-point lead at that time, and he just did a fantastic job in the second half. I talked to Drew about stepping up in the second half. Noah really did a great job the whole game. Was fantastic in the first half. We talked about somebody else stepping up. Drew did a great job, but Keegan Hoskins, what a great job, especially down the stretch, hitting the free throws, because you saw Chesterton, they went after Hoskins, they wanted him at the line, and he knocked him down.
12 points, 8 rebounds for Hoskins, 17 points, 11 rebounds for Noah Applegate, and 17 points with 4 assists for Drew Lutz. By the way, the Kingsmen 21 of 28 at the foul line, Chesterton 7 of 10, and there's the difference in the game.
21 of 28. I mean, when you make 21 of 28 at the foul line, you're going to win 90% of your games just from that. I mean, it was just a great job.
Our thanks to our TV 46 crew who got up early in the morning to head on over to Michigan City and bring you this one. Hey, they got fed donuts. I know what they're complaining about. Dean Korsmo, the Garden Gnome, working as the producer and the technical director today. Tom Ward, Rory Killalay, and the rest of our passionate men who work hard to get these high school games on for you. And we've got one more Saturday of high school basketball coming your way with the IHSA semi-state next week, hopefully from Northside Gym, and hopefully with a bunch of local teams in it. We'll let you know about it on Twitter, on 46 Sports, and on our Facebook as well. Now for my partner, the Hall of Famer Bo Hunt, it's Chuck Freeby. Once again, the final, Penn 49, Chesterton 42. The Kingsmen will play tonight in the regional final here in Michigan City. So long from the shores of Lake Michigan.